Hi everyone and welcome to this detailed step-by-step video guide for creating a bus mod for City Bus Manager. I will be going over the basic requirements in your 3D program. I will be explaining this in Blender. Then we'll go over how to install the City Bus Manager modding tool, how to import all the needed files and how to set everything up so that in the end you will be able to export your bus into the City Bus Manager and also publish it to the Steam Workshop for other users. Alright, let's start with the requirements in your 3D program. As you can see, I have already imported an example bus into Blender. You can use any other 3D program as well. In this guide, I will not be covering every single step on how to model your bus and how to texture it, but only what requirements you need in order to import it correctly to City Bus Manager as a mod. First of all, your model has to consist of different objects. First, the main bus object itself, then the front wheels, the back wheels, and the front door as separate objects, because these will later be animated in City Bus Manager. I have also added an armature here so that I can animate the doors properly. For texture and materials, I am using two different materials on this bus. First of all, the main material, which is everything you see here in blue. So the bus itself, all the windows of it, the lights. And I also have the second material, which I'm using for the wheels, for the mirror and the door. Please note that only one of these materials will be paintable. So everything that you want to be painted in the in-game paint shop, you have to put into one material. Everything on the secondary material will not be paintable in-game. Alright, now for the texture requirements. You will have to unwrap the whole bus model, so the front, the back, and the two sides, and the roof on one single UV map, so that it looks like this. Then you will need several textures. First of all, the details texture. Here's everything that will not be paintable in the in-game paint shop. So for example, if a user changes the color of the bus or paints over it, it shouldn't go over the windows or the lights. The background of this texture is transparent. The second texture that you need is the emissive texture. Here's everything that should emit light when it's dark on your premise. You can either use a black background on this texture or no background at all. The third texture that you will need is the roof texture. This is just the UV of your roof covered completely in black. And the last texture that you need will be the repaint texture, which in this example is everything of the bus filled with white and the details added on top of it. This will be the template that the players get when they download the repaint template in the paint shop. Now let's take a look at the animation requirement of the bus. In this example, I have created a open door animation where the door just slides open. Please make sure to include your animations when you export a model. Alright, now go ahead and download Unity and the City Bus Manager modding tool. Once Unity is installed, open it up and click on New Project. Then select 3D URP as a template. Then click on Create Project, which will open up Unity. When your Unity project is open, find the City Bus Manager modding tool in your Explorer and double click it. A new dialog will open up in Unity and you just have to click on Import. This will import all the necessary files and folders that you will need for creating the bus mod. Next, we will import our textures and our bus model into the project. In this example, we select our 4 textures and put them into the textures folder. Then we also drag our FBX file for the model into the model folder. After that, we have to configure the settings of our textures. For each texture, you have to set the check mark for alpha is transparency. For the repaint texture, change the texture type to Sprite, 2D and UI and click the checkboxes for alpha is transparency and allow read and write. After you have set everything up, go to the materials folder and create a copy of the M template material. Then go ahead and rename it. After that, for each slot we have to select the fitting texture. So first we select our roof texture, then we select our details texture, the paint job we can leave empty, and lastly we have to select the emission texture. Now that the material is set up completely, we head into the models folder, click on the FBX file we have just imported, and then head into the materials tab. Then under your main material slot, select the material that you have just created and also insert other materials if you have made more than one in your 3D program. Then go into the animations tab and make sure that your door animation is listed under clips. You can select the clip and click the little play icon to preview the animation and make sure it works correctly. After that, you go back to the model tab. Now it depends on your export settings of your 3D program, but in my experience for most of the Blender files you have to set the checkmark for bake axis conversion. Then also click the checkmark for allow read and write on the mesh. One last step before we can set everything together, we go to the animation folder and create a copy of the animator template and then rename it. Now double click the animator, then select the open door field, and under motion you have to select the animation clip that you have exported with your bus FBX file. If you have also exported a separate closing door animation, then click on the close door field and change it to the closed door animation that you have exported. If you don't have exported a separate closing door animation, then just select the open door one and change the speed to -1. Now head back to the models folder and drag and drop your bus model onto the scene outliner. And then make sure that all the position points are set to 0. Next you have to go into the prefabs folder and select the fitting bus space. In this example I have a medium bus, so I select the bus space medium. If you have an articulated bus, select the large bus space, and if you have a small bus like a Sprinter or the Ceto, then select small bus space. Also drag and drop it into the scene outliner and make sure that the positions are set to 0. Now if necessary you have to change the positioning and scale of the bus to fit perfectly on the bus space. In this example it looks pretty good. You have to make sure that the bus is rotated correctly towards the bus space. If the dimensions or the positioning or the rotations are not fitting for the bus space, then select the root object of your bus in the scene hierarchy and change all the position, scale and rotation parameters so that the bus stands on the bus space correctly, like the example bus in the video. Now expand the root node of your bus and click on your main bus mesh. The original name of it depends on how you named it in your 3D program. Right click it and rename it to model with a capital M. Then click on it and on the right side click on add component and search for mesh collider. Then select the mesh collider and make sure that the mesh collider has the same mesh that is also selected in the mesh filter on top. Now go back to the root object of your bus, also click on add component and search for animator. Then for the controller, select the animator controller that you have created previously and where you have set up your door animations. Now that we are done setting up the bus scene, at the very top click on City Bus Manager and Mod Editor. A new window will open up and you have to click on New Mod. Then give your mod a name and click Create. Now you can set up the mod name, your mod description, and then you can also set up the in-game parameters for your bus. For example, the in-game name, the capacity, the fuel consumption, construction year, the size of your bus, that you have to select the same size of the bus space that you have dragged in the scene, and then also select if it's a double-decker or a normal bus. Then we also have to provide the repaint template. This is just the white bus with the details added on top, and again the details texture. For the preview image of the bus, which will be visible in the in-game marketplace, we have provided a template where you can overlay a picture of your bus. For this image, make sure to select the texture type Sprite, 2D and UI and then click Apply. This image you have to provide in the mod editor under the slot Preview Image. Then you have to drag and drop the root object of your bus into the bus game object slot in the mod editor. Okay, now we have to set up some more parameters in the modding tool. First of all, click on Edit Axis Point Position and then go back to the scene view and you will see that a new object has appeared. You have to set the position of it to be in front of the front door of the bus. So this is where your employees will stand before entering the bus. You can use the tool on the top right of the scene view to select the right camera view to perfectly adjust the position gizmo. Then you can deselect Edit Axis Point Position and go to the next one, Edit In Bus Point Position. This will be the position where your employee will stand after he has entered the bus, so just position it slightly into the bus door. Then we have to set up the lights of the bus. Make sure that the dotted line points in the right direction. because this is the direction that the light will be emitted. You have to do this for both the right light and the left light. Then deselect it to make the gizmo disappear and select damage particles. This will be the smoke effect that comes out of your bus when it's damaged. So you have to position it wherever the engine is. In this example, the engine is on the back. So position it just slightly underneath the bus, so the damaged particles will come out from the bottom of the bus and up towards the direction of the dotted line. Then you have to specify how many doors your bus has. This example bus only has one door, so I type in 1. And then I also have to set up the position and rotation so that the gizmo in the end is slightly in front of the door, almost at the top of the door, and the dotted line is rotated towards the outside of the door. After you set everything up, deselect Edit Doors and select Edit Bus Collider. For me, it works best to just type in 10 on every size parameter of the bus and then check out every camera angle and adjust the collider so that it fits perfectly on the bus. So first I select the side view, make sure the collider sits nice and tight on the bus. Then I select the front view, correct the scale and positioning as well. And then we are done with all the extra parameters and are ready to export our bus. Now you just have to click export and wait for it to complete. Alright, you have successfully created your bus mod. Now you can head into the game and in the main menu select mods and make sure that your bus is listed and that the checkbox is checked for it to be enabled in the game. Now load or create a new game, go to the marketplace and then you can buy your modding bus. Check the bus in the paint shop and make sure that the roof color, the body color and the painting works on the bus. Now make sure that the door animations are working properly. And also test if the lights are working properly when it's dark and if the bus gets dirty on the outside and on the inside. Once you have tested everything and it works like it should, you can go back to the main menu, click mods and next to your mod click the little upload button. This will upload your bus to the Steam Workshop and make it accessible for other players. I hope I was able to help you with this video guide. If you want further information about a topic, please check out our documentation on Steam. And if you have any further questions or problems, you can find the link to our Discord server in the description. There you can ask questions and we and the other members on there will be happy to help you.